Hi, this is Frida. Welcome to my channel. For this tutorial I will be demonstrating how to knit this gorgeous leafy baby cardigan. It's a top-down knit and we need total of around 200 gram of yarn. 200. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate with this yarn that I found in my stash. I will put a picture here of my basement full of clear containers of yarn that I have. So I just grabbed this, and it's about 40 gram each of, it says Serdar. Yep, I'm not buying any more yarn. I bought, I think, 2009 till 2012, like crazy yarn expenses. I spent so much money, and I had previously bought yarn from them before prior years, so I'm not buying any yarn, and I'm trying to use the yarn that I have in my stash. And here is the picture. Okay, so I'm just going to open this and just I paid $1.99 Canadian dollars, and the year is 2009. Yep. So let me just pull this tag out here. I was always looking for great deals. So like I said, it's Sirdar, S-I-R-D-A-R. Wash and wear double crepe, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's machine washable, and I will put the tag on the in the finish project. I always do, and it is hard to read, so tiny. Let's get closer. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you what to use. Just grab the yarn that you have in your stash or the yarns that you already bought. So the yarn that I'm knitting is 55% nylon and 45% acrylic. It says machine washable, so I would put, you can wash it in the machine, but I would lay it down. I always wash my hand knit items with my own hands, just to be on the safe side. Or if I put it in the washing machine, I would lay it down. Dry it. And for this one you can use a 4mm needle. It says 8 UK 5 US. Okay, so let's get started. It is finger weight, I would say. It's not worsted, and I am going to use, so there's a total of 3 balls of yarn, and hoping this would be enough, and I'm assuming it would be enough. So let me just grab, yeah, let me just come back. Okay, so I did make a sketch here. We're going to be casting on total of 54 stitches. Okay, and then we're going to increase 14 rows. Increase by, I mean these body parts that we're going to increase. This is a top down, and I will put the link on, or you can go and check my videos. I have a top down that I use on my Angora shrugs and so on. I have a couple of tutorials and do the short row on the back of the cardigan, how to do the back of the cardigan. I just released one, I think last week, so you can go and check that one as well. So cast on total of 54 stitches. I'm not going to demonstrate how to cast on, just cast on the way you know, and I will put the link how I cast on. Just to save up some time, I'm going to be putting links, because I don't want this to be a long tutorial, because it's very easy and simple, and it's pretty. So I would like you to start on it as soon as possible, and then work on from there. So cast on total of 54 stitches, and then we're going to be knitting the collar. I'm going to start with the collar, first, and the collar is going to be different. It's going to be like a rib stitch, but it is different. It gives more texture. And grab one of your circular needles that you have, recommended on your label as I read on mine. And so let's get started. Okay, so far I have cast on a total of 54 stitches, and we are going to be knitting the collar. As you can see, the collar of the cardigan. If you look at it. So we're going to knit everything at once, top down. Okay, so let's go back here. So the first row, this is the back of the work. This is the front of the tail is. I had a chicken. I used all of the yarn on my long tail, and I only have this, so I tied it securely twice, and I have 54. So this is the back of the work, and what we're going to do is we're just going to knit yarn on the front, just like this. Oopsie. It's pretty tight, yeah. So just knit like this all the way to the end. Yarn on the front. And I'll meet you at the end. I have knit yarn on the front, did the purl stitch all the way. Now I'm on the front. Okay. So the first, I'm just going to slip this one. And then I'm going to do a purl stitch. It's just like a rib stitch. Knit stitch, purl stitch. Knit stitch, purl stitch. And this is all to it. So on the wrong side of the work, you do a purl stitch. And when you come to the front, you do a rib stitch. Knit, purl, knit, purl. And it gives you this different look. And this is all to it. Purl, knit. Purl, purl, knit. So I have knit one purl, and I did the purl stitch on the back. And this is how it looks like so far. Okay, I'm sorry, my needle is pretty long, but I love these Addy needles. It's very nice and smooth to knit with. I do apologize for the noise. And I don't like my other needles. This is the appropriate needle to knit with this yarn. So please bear with me, and please try to ignore the noise. I'm trying not to make the noise, but it's the needle that's too long. The wire is making the noise. So knit as long as you want. I knit about 4. 4 means I counted these purl stitches on the front. So knit as long as you want, and we will start to divide the body parts. This is how it looks like. I have knit total of 4. 4, I counted these 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 purl stitches that I see. So it's about 8 rows, I would say. And this is how it looks like. You can knit as long as you want. I just wanted to, I think this is enough for a baby cardigan. And for an adult, if you want to knit for an adult, I would measure one of your sweaters or your cardigans and then knit it like that. So this is a 54 stitch. I would increase it 2 stitches on each of the body parts. So I would add this 12, 9, 18, 9, 12 like that, and then increase it more. Okay, so we're going to start knitting. I am going to be adding a total of 7 stitches. So to add that, I'm just gonna go binding. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to move the yarn on the front. To knit the leaf, I'm going to put the link here. It's one of my tutorials that I have loaded just before this video to how to knit the leaf. And this is how we start. The main stitches are a total of 7 stitches to knit the leaf. The neat leaf on the leaf from the front. Okay, focus here. So the first stitch is going to be I'm just gonna knit the first stitch, yarn on the front, so 3 pearls, 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, I'm going to do a yarn over. I'm going to be knitting the leaf. 1, knit 1, yarn on the back. Okay, move the yarn to the front and make another yarn over, just like this, and we're going to be purling remaining the stitches. So we're going to knit a total of 4, so we're going to be knitting 3 stitches. Yarn on the front, purlwise, and we're going to be increasing just like this and go between these two with your needle, go between, and this is how you increase. I think I split the yarn, so go between just like this, and then knit. This is how you increase, and knit yarn on the front, the remaining 3 stitches. So we're done this leaf stitches. Okay, for the buttonhole, for this cardigan, I didn't make a buttonhole. I just used one of the yarn overs. You can do it that way. Or on this tutorial, I will show you how to make a buttonhole on between this stitch. So what we're going to do is, oops, focus, it's blurry. So we're going to do a yarn over, and then we're going to knit 10 stitches. So I'm going to do a buttonhole for this. So I'm going to knit these 2 together, and this yarn over will cover that one of the stitches that we did. So this is going to be the buttonhole here. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Okay, just like this. And then 10, but we're going to increase. We're dividing the body parts. So I'm just going to do a yarn over, just like, not a yarn over, I'm just going to increase it like that, and knit 1, and increase another one. So we increase 2 stitches, 1 stitch from the front, and 1 stitch for the sleeve area. And we're going to knit a total of 7 stitches. I'm just following this chart that I showed you at the beginning. So this is what I'm doing. I did the 10, 7, and these are the increases, the 1 knit, and then you do a 1 increase and 1 increase for both sides. And then we're going to do 16 knit, 7 knit for the sleeve again, and then 10 knit for the front, and we're going to cast on another 7 stitches to do the border. Okay, so we're going to knit, we did 10, so we're going to knit 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then go between just like this and do increase. I do have a couple of tutorials, top down knits, and I do the same way always. I don't like doing a yarn over between, it gives that huge hole. And knit 1, yarn over. Okay, so the sleeve part is done. Now we're going to do the body, the back. So 16 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, I'm going to do a short row. I'm just going to do increase here. And I'm going to do another knit 1. And then I'm going to slip this one. And I'm going to turn this back. The reason I'm doing this is for the back for the person, for the baby to the toddler. Well, this is a baby cardigan for the baby to wear it comfortably. I'm going to make a short row. So a couple of rows. The back is going to be higher when you compare it to the front, and you will see the difference. You will feel the difference. So I'm going to slip this stitch without knitting, and I am just going to knit this all the way, just like this. So there's going to be, going to come all the way to the sleeve area. And where is my sleeve? It's hard to see because it's the first row, and I didn't put my marker. So what I'll do is just put this, I never use markers, should. Okay, so this is where we did the increase. So you can use if you have a marker, I would advise you to use a marker. Can't find it right now, so I'm just going to put this yarn just to show where to knit. Okay, here we go. Just like this, yarn on the front. This is the back of the work. I notice when I'm editing, I don't edit when I'm posting the video. I never edit. These are all natural. I do not do, when I tape, I sit down and I tape naturally. So these videos are all naturally done. I don't edit them. I don't change the color. I don't do nothing. But after when I post it on YouTube, when I'm watching it, I notice my knitting, because the camera's in front of me, and I see it when I knit, it goes up and down, and sometimes the focus, I lose the focus. And that's why I put the camera in front of me. But even though, because I'm watching on the camera screen while I'm taping this, and sometimes I even miss it. It goes up automatically. It's not easy to knit when you have a camera in front of you. So I do apologize. Okay, so let's turn our work and see. We did the increase, yeah. One more. So I'm gonna knit this one. Well, actually, no. Oh, yeah, I'll knit this one. And what was I going to do? My brain stopped, sorry. My brain stopped. So I'm going to slip this one, this stitch, and I'm going to knit this stitch. This was the one that we did the increase, and I'm going to increase it to give that height. That's the reason we're doing the short row, to give that height. So I did the increase. This is the sleeve area. Okay, so this time I am going to knit all the way. I'm going to knit the back, and then I'm going to come and knit the sleeve area. Let me see, where is my increase here. I'm just going to, here we go. So I'm going to knit all the way here. So I'm going to knit all the way here, and I'm looking if I don't have a marker. Don't see anything, but it's, for some reason, I can see it. Okay, I'm going to knit all the way there, and that is where we're going to do the increase. Turn our work and do the same. So we did 1 row, 2 row, and this is the 3rd row. So we're doing extra 3 row, and then we're going to come back and do the 4th row. So 4 row, I think, yeah, 2, 3, 4 row. That 4 row extra gives a plenty of comfortable awareness on the cardigan. Okay. Oops. This is the sleeve. So I'm just going to increase. I forgot to increase. Yeah, be careful. I forgot. And then I'm just going to do the increase on these two. Here we go, for the sleeve area and for the back body. I'm just going to knit. So we'll continue knitting all the way. Okay, this is going to be, this is going to be the sleeve, and this is going to be the body. So we're going to do our increases, and then the knit 1 stitch, and then increase. And then I'm going to have the yarn on the front, slip the stitch, go back, and this is going to be the last. So after that, we will be done knitting the short row, just like this. So continue knitting all the way. All the way here, where we did the short row and turned our work, and then I will meet you up here. So this is going to be the 6th row, extra 6th row. Okay, so I have knit all the way to the last, and I'm going to slip this stitch, move this yarn on the front, and then I'm going to turn my work. Normally I knit all the way here, but we did we added the 7 stitches. I didn't want to come all the way here, so that's the reason usually I would come here if I was just knitting a regular top-down cardigan. But for this purposes, I didn't want this extra 2 stitches here. So I'm going to turn from here. So we're going to have an extra 7th row of, and you can see the short row gives that nice look. Nice finishing touch. So I'm going to knit all the way here. And then I'm going to add 7 stitches here on this one. Okay, so what I did is I slipped that stitch, had the yarn on the front. I'm going to put the stitch back here without knitting. And then I'm going to do an increase, as this is the, and trying to see where I am. Okay, I'm just going to knit this stitch, and then knit this stitch, and trying to find out where we are. Okay, and then knit this stitch, and then add a stitch to the sleeve area. And then knit this. This is the knit one stitch, and then I'm going to make an increase. Just like this. And I'm just going to knit regularly. So this is all to it. And we will be done. The short row to give that height so it can be worn comfortably. Yeah, these extra rows makes a big difference. Okay, so here's our increase. Knit one, increase, and okay, so we've done, this is the sleeve area. This yarn is so soft. Can't believe it. Usually they're scratchy. Like that yarn was scratchy until I blocked it. I noticed it became soft right away. So if you wash it, probably it's going to get softer than ever. Okay, so let me, here we do the increase. The increase, knit one, the increase, and then I'm just gonna knit. So as you can see, there's a gap here. I'm just gonna grab these. If you see a gap like this, just grab one of the, we did the yarn on the front, remember? So knit this stitch, this is the regular knit stitch, and I'm going to knit these together to cover that gap, so there won't be any gap between. See, it's gone. There's always techniques to cover, and you can see the short row. This is how it looks like. Yeah. If you want to continue, you can even turn from here and then come back again. But I'm not going to do that. I think that would be enough. So I'm just going to find where my increase is. And this is where the increase is actually. I'm just going to find it. I just realized we didn't come all the way here because we did a short row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count 10 stitches here. 2, 4, 8, 10. And this is where I'm going to do the increase. Yep. So like these. Again, count 10 stitches. 4, 8, 10. I'm going to do an increase here. Okay, so we're done. And this is how it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to be adding 7 stitches. This is the back of the work. And this is how I do it when I'm working on the wrong side of the work. So there's 1, 2, Or you can use a crochet hook if you feel uncomfortable. Yeah, just go like this. Three. Oops, lost one of the stitches. Go back. 3. 4. 5. 6, and then the last one, 7. Okay, so what we're going to do is what we did on the collar. We're just going to knit this yarn on the front because this is the wrong side of the work, and we're just going to knit yarn on the front because it's the wrong side of the work. Just knit all the way up to here, and then I will show you how to do the leaf here. So when you turn the cardigan, this is going to be on the left side. The leaf is going to be on the left side. If you want to make it on the right side, you can do the same way. It just versa visa. So continue knitting, and I'll meet you at the end to work on the leaves, the leaf. So far I have knit all the back here where I did the 2 knit yarn over. So this is, I'm going to put the buttonhole here. So this would be the buttonhole. Okay, so I'm just gonna knit these stitches. These are the purl stitches from the front and knit stitches from the back. Okay, so when I turn, this is the leaf. So try to get it closer. So this is the middle of the leaf. So I did a yarn over. I did knit 1. So far, I think this is, here we go. Okay, so you can see yarn over, knit, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, and then I did the purl stitches. Okay, this is the increase. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to knit these yarn on the front and do a purl stitches, just like this, and the last 3 stitches that we do. And this is all to it. It's just a regular top down. And this is how you start knitting the cardigan. If you get confused, you can go back to that. I have the link below, just my previous video of how to knit the leaf. Okay, just trying to find the middle here. Okay, so yarn over, knit 1, yarn over. So we're going to do a total of 4 yarn over. And then, okay, 2, 3. Okay, this is supposed to be a purl stitch as well. We increase on the first of the purl stitch. So I'm just going to make this a purl stitch. I can fix it by that. Okay, so I'm going to increase it. I'm not going to move the stitch. I'm not going to leave it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist this. Have the yarn on the front. So go between here. Go between here and here, like this. grab the yarn just like this, and this is how you increase when you're increasing a purl stitch. And then you continue knitting the remaining stitches. This is the buttonhole. Okay, and you just do the knit stitch all the way where the increase is, and the increase is here. And this is where you increase. This is how you increase the knit stitch. You go between and you go back. You grab the yarn and you pull it. The more you knit, the more you will feel comfortable. That's how you increase, and you don't see any holes, nothing. It's nice and smooth, and that's how it looks like. When you look at the cardigan, you don't see any holes on the raglan here. Just see the knit stitch. Gives that nice look. Okay, so just continue knitting. So continue knitting all the way, and we're doing a rib stitch there, as we did, same as the collar, or as we did here. On the collar, we did the purl stitch on the wrong side, and we did a one knit, one purl. And this is how it looks like so far. Yep. Came off, comes off easily. Slides. These are my Addy knitting needles, circular end. Yeah, I knit everything with circular needles. I don't feel comfortable knitting with the straight needles anymore, because I've been knitting big projects. Okay, here we go. Here's the increase. You can see, looks like a purl stitch. So you just knit this one and you don't pull it off, and you go between, you go from here, and then you go back and you grab this yarn and you pull it. That's how you increase. Knit one stitch, go back and pull it just like that. You just knit. So we're knitting the back of the cardigan. Okay. Just like this, grab it and you increase. Go between. Just like that. Okay, I don't want to miss. Here we are, the increases here. So we did the sleeve. Now we're coming to the front. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 7. That's where we're going to do the rib. So I'm going to do a purl, knit 1, purl, knit 1, purl, and knit 1, and I'll just knit the last stitch. And when you're working on the wrong side, you just do the purl all the way. And I will meet you back here when we're going to do the leaves. So what we're going to do is you're going to knit. You're going to knit what you see. So knit and then purl. And I'll meet you back to start doing the yarn over on the third yarn over. So we did 2. We'll start doing the third yarn over. Okay, so I came back to the front and we are going to be knitting the leaves, and then we're going to be knitting the 3 stitches yarn on the front. Knit 1, knit 2, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, knit 2. Okay, this is all to it. And we're, oops, forgot to increase. Don't forget to increase. Go back and then go back between here. I will put the link on how to knit the leaf. And then we just do the regular knit stitch. So I'm going to let you continue knitting like this, and if you have any complications on knitting the leaf, I will put the link on how to knit the leaf, and then you will follow up with there, and that's all to it. You just continue knitting like this, and I will come where we're going to be starting the second leaf, and I will show you how to make the second buttonhole. And then you just do the increases. For a baby, I increase about 18 increases like this. When you do the increases, total of 18. For adults, like I said, I start for a small size with the same stitches, and I knit about 7 inches long from here. And you can, if you want to make a small size, you can do that too. So you go down and then you knit about 7 inches long, you increase, and then you divide the body parts. So I'm going to let you knit, and I will meet you when we're going to start doing the second leaf. And with the buttonhole, either I'm making the buttonhole on here, but if you want to make it if you want to make a buttonhole on the right side, you can make a buttonhole on either way. You just knit yarn over, you knit the 2 stitches. You can make it on this side if you want, but for this, it looks nice, the button on next to the leaves. It looks unique, different, so that's the reason I made the buttonhole on the left side where you button the cardigan. So I'll let you knit, and I'll meet you further down. So continue to increase where you're supposed to increase, and do the rib, 1 knit 1 purl on the right side, and knit stitch on the back side, and I'll meet you further down. Okay, so I have knit this much so far. I just wanted to compare the blue one. I have knitted with a, was just thicker than finger weight yarn, and this is thinner than the yarn that I have knitted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 leaves and then divide the body parts, because if I knit 15 it's not going to be long enough. So far it's 9 increases I made, so I'm going to make another 9 and then divide the body parts. Just wanted to confirm. Measure what you're knitting for. Don't, like, because of the yarn, this is thinner and it's smaller than the blue one. The leaves are going to be smaller, as you can see the difference. Okay, so what I did is, let me just grab my knitting, and I am at the part where I have lined off, total of 6, and I have 7 stitches here, 2, 4, 6, 7. So we're going to start the second second leaf. Okay, so the first 3 stitches are always a purl stitch, as you can see. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do a yarn over, knit 1, and then we're going to do another yarn over, and then we're going to do a purl stitch, then we're going to do an increase. So it's just a repeat. And if you watched the video how to do the leaf pattern, you will see it's just a repeat, going over and over. Yeah. So you just go here, and then you go between, and then you grab the yarn, and you just pull it. So this is how you do a increase. Okay, so I'm going to do the next buttonhole as we did one here. So I'm going to make another one here. Or even you can make a buttonhole between this. I noticed here too. You can make it one. But I'm going to put a big button on this one, so it will cover. Okay, knit the last stitches. We're going to do a yarn over, knit the 2 stitches. And you just continue knitting like this. So continue knitting, and then I will come back to do the divide the body parts. It's just a regular, just do the knit stitch, and I will come back doing the body parts, dividing the body parts as we go further. And we're going to be having more stitches comparing to the blue cardigan. Depends on the yarn. If you knit with a worsted yarn, it would be bigger and thicker. And this is how you increase. I'll show you one more time. Okay, so I'll meet you, continue knitting, and I'll meet you where we divide the body parts. I usually knit the sleeves first because I want to have enough yarn, and then I knit the rest of the cardigan. And this is how it looks like. So far I have bind off and started the 3rd leaf, just like this. If you watch the leaf pattern tutorial, there's more details on how to knit this. I'm not going to go over how to knit this part, as I made a separate tutorial for that video. So I made the 3rd buttonhole, And I'm going to separate the body part. So I did start my second ball of yarn. So it knits about 2, even if you knit with 50 gram, or this says 40 gram, but it is thinner than the other yarn. So the first ball knits about two leaves. So I would say one ball would knit the front, and then the rest would knit the sleeves for a baby cardigan. Okay, so I am knitting all the way. I have a tutorial for adults how to knit top down, and I will put the link. It's one of my Kate Middleton top down tutorials if you want to make for an adult. I'm planning, I don't know when, but I would like to knit one for myself, 2 to 3 extra large. Okay, so I'm just gonna do my here. I'm just gonna grab my tool here, and I'm gonna separate the sleeves just like this. And after when I separate it, I usually knit the sleeves so I can knit the rest of the yarn that I have on the body part, because the sleeves I wanted long sleeves. This is for a baby. I would say 5 inches to 7 inches long from underarm, from where I am. You measure it from here down for the sleeves. This is the sleeve part, so this is going to be the underarm. Well, this part's going to be the underarm here when you start knitting it. So there should be 40 plus stitches here, and I just wanted to going to be adding 6 stitches. I'm going to be casting on 6 stitches. Okay, so we're done this part. My stitch holder. Okay, so I'm going to come back here, and what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to cast on. Either you can cast, I showed different ways to cast on. You can knit, or you can go double twist. Does the same work. Just like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The reason I'm doing 6 is I'm going to knit the underarm, one of the stitches together, so there won't be any gaps. The reason I'm twisting this, because if I do just one, this, when I knit, this becomes longer, and I don't like that. So when I twist it, it gets rid of that way of not having it long. 6, I did extra 1. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this stitch, the last stitch that I cast on. I think there's a, and then I'm going to grab the one from here, and I'm going to knit these together because I don't want any gap between when I'm joining. So this part is going to be the underarm, and then I'm going to continue knitting all the way here, and I'll do the same thing. Oops, all the way here, and I'll do the same thing. So I'll be back. Okay, so I'm not gonna move it to the stitch holder. I'm just gonna move it one of my circular needles that I have. It's the same size. So I'm just gonna move this one, and I'm gonna knit the sleeves. Just like this, and I already cast on 6 more stitches. So we're not increasing anymore on where we were increasing. I stopped to that. We're not going to be increasing. It's done. If you are making an adult size, you can continue increasing. For small, extra small to small size, adult, I knit about 7 inches from the neck area, not the collar. The collar I don't count. From here where we start down 7 inches. For medium size, I knit about 8 inches. I'm giving you my secret recipe. For extra large, for medium size, 8 inches. For extra large, 9 inches. And of course, the stitches when you cast on the top, there are more stitches on it. So I just add extra stitches. Okay, so I've done this, and then I'm just going to. I'm not gonna finish the cardigan with you, so you can continue knitting. Like after this, the body, you're just gonna go knit how long you want it down till. But for a 0 to 3 months baby cardigans, it's about 12 inches long. And if you want to knit longer, you can even knit a dress all the way down, and that would be no problem. But for a cardigan, it's top down, it's 12 inches. And for the sleeves, like I said before, it's 5 to 8 inches from underarm, 7 inches. It depends on how long you want the sleeve to be, because babies grow fast, right? I remember I knitted my son a baby cardigan. I knitted so big. He was a big boy. He was over 10 pounds when he was born. So he wore it to 2 years old, because I knit it too long and the sleeves were long. First, at the beginning, we were folding it, which I do not suggest. Just knit for a baby cardigan. Don't knit that big. It's not worth it. Because there's beautiful, gorgeous yarns out there that you can knit different kinds, different varieties of sweaters and cardigans for your loved one. Okay, so you just continue knitting like this, and then I'm going to let you go. And I posted the tutorial on how to knit the sleeve yesterday, so that is on. Everyone's looking at it. So I've been getting comments. They're waiting for the top down cardigan, how to knit the baby sweater. So I will post this, and I will try to put a picture on my Instagram and in my my fan Facebook page that I have, Funky Girls Working Shop. If you search it up, Funky Girls Working Shop, and all the information. If you want to get a hold of me, email me. Everything is on my About section. If you go onto my YouTube, there's About section, and I have all my links. Went to it, so you can message me. But please do not ask for a pattern. I am going to put a pattern. I found, actually I was supposed to knit this 2 years ago and never had the time, unfortunately. Like, I made this list, and this list is, I said I have to knit these see, knit. This was the baby. I wrote it in Turkish. It's Turkish and English mix. So I did most of the tutorials. I just have a couple of left. And I have more. I'm going to do the crochet granny spike stitch. I have that one left. I'm going to do the chevron cardigan baby. It's crocheted. And I have a couple of more stitches. I have a gorgeous knit crocodile leather. It's knit. And I think I found this stitch when I was in... Well, I'll tell the story when I'm doing the tutorial. But I do have lots of tutorials. And so this tutorial that I'm just making, I... Unfortunately, it's true, but I had it 2 years ago. Yeah, time flies by. Okay, so you just continue knitting, just like this. So what I did is I put the needles on this sleeve, and you just knit as long as you want, and you just knit the rib stitch. And I put my logo here. Isn't it cute? And one knit, one purl, and you do the knit stitch on the sleeve. And that's all to it. I don't do any decreases on the sleeves for a baby because I don't want it tight. We want to have it fit as comfortable as one. And after I finish this cardigan, I want to compare the two cardigans. Because on this one, I didn't do a short row. If you look at the neck area, just straight. But when I when I finish this cardigan, I will put the comparison. And then you just continue knitting. Like I did two more leaves. If you want to do 3, you are welcome to. And then after that, I don't decrease at all. I just go straight down. Because like I said, it's for a baby cardigan. And I just did the rib. About 10 of these. I count the 10 purl stitches between. And then that's all to it. So continue knitting, and I will meet you to compare these two cardigans. I have finished the sweater. Ta-da! I think this looks different. Oh, now I want to knit with a green yarn. So far, I have knitted, remembered the stitches that were on the needle. So I knit it straight and I bind off, same using the rib technique, one knit, one purl on the right side, and knit, and knit from the yarn from the front purlwise on the wrong side. And this is how you knit the cardigan, the Leafy Cardigan. And here I just went straight down and I continued adding 2 more leaves. And so far this is it. So when you compare, that's what I wanted to compare. Remember we did the short row here. And then when you put this one, you can see the difference. This is like straight, but this one gives that nice neck area. I hope you liked this tutorial. Enjoy it. Share it with your family and friends. I think it turned out pretty good after planning to do the tutorial 2 years ago. Finally did it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Share it with your family and friends, and happy knitting!